Good afternoon, you're watching Profit 360 on NDTV Profit. I'm Sanjana, and over the next 30 minutes, we're going to bring you the latest in markets as well as national and international news. So let's dive right into it. It's our top focus today. Following Donald Trump's meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska, the US president is scheduled to meet Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy on Monday, a confirmation that has come directly from Zelenskyy himself. My colleague Vishal Vivek now with us to provide deeper insights and context into what this means. Over to you, Vishal. Right, before I get in my colleague Vishal, just to give you some context, this coming in after the Alaska summit where we saw Donald Trump meeting with Vladimir Putin. However, the conversation did not yield a deal and neither was there any discussion or outcome on the ceasefire. But this is the information that we're getting in right now, that Zelenskyy will be meeting Trump in Washington on Monday. Let me quickly bring in my colleague and NDTV's Vishal Vivek for more context into this. Vishal, over to you.
So, as you mentioned rightly, the meeting is scheduled for Monday. Zelenskyy has himself said that he will meet in Washington with his counterpart of the US, Donald Trump, who had this big meeting with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. Though that meeting does not have really something to offer, it really seemed to have a really positive, vibe altogether, because both the leaders had, those exchange of glances, smiles were exchanged, even though there was not really something to be exchanged in terms of the deal that we were talking about for the last few days. There's nothing concrete as to the Ukraine peace deal. But following that meeting, there have been many phone calls involving Zelenskyy, spoken to Trump with EU leaders, almost all the EU leaders, and then followed that with another call which had only the EU leaders and not Trump. So many calls have been made, and these are all positive signs in terms of the peace deal. But the peace deal itself right now seems elusive. But the fact that there have been no sanctions announced so far, that itself goes to show that Trump is quite happy with the meeting. Whether that changes or not, that remains to be seen. But there were a lot of speculations that Trump would be announcing some strong action, some strong sanctions against Putin, but that has not happened. So that is a good sign, as I mentioned. So all eyes will be now on Trump as to if there will be some surprise announcement in terms of sanctions.
Right, Vishal, thank you so much for that insight. We'll, of course, continue to track this very crucial meeting that plays such a significant role for what happens in India as well.